All right, time for another one. I think this is vlog 5, I want to say. But anyways, I wanted to talk about kind of what the new update was about in terms of the loadouts and kind of UI stuff, UI changes, and kind of what I want to see out of the UI. And I don't necessarily think loadouts are going to mean that much, honestly. I was watching a video with Diablo from Life Taps and Backstabs, and he's go check his video out, it's pretty good. But he was going into it, and yeah, I just don't think that the loadouts are going to be that impactful, and I think it's going to vary between classes, because playing based on the classes that I've played, you know, and mainly the tanks, the real one that only necessarily needs it is the warrior, and you could even argue that loadouts are kind of redundant, you know, especially when they're going to be adding mastery. But this is all assuming that, you know, if you take the game the way it is right now, and based on what Joppa was saying with the summoner, it looks like that the loadouts are going to be important. So I could see that. I could see the summoner having a bunch of abilities and summons and stuff that, you know, that are very situational and stuff that you want to keep on your bar and you want to eventually swap out for when the time comes. But that's the whole idea of what a limited action set is. It's to have the choice, and it's really the decision to pick the best ability that you can for the situation at hand. And you're going to have your core abilities, you know. That's standard amongst LAS systems, but just based off my playthroughs and why I don't think it's going to be that meaningful, at least for the tanks, and is just because, like, I didn't find enough abilities to be impactful. And this is kind of what Diablo was saying. It was like, you know, there's only maybe one other rogue ability on his character that he finds impactful that he would swap out, and I kind of feel the same thing with the paladin, at least, moreover than the warrior. But you know, I just hope that they can give enough good abilities to where the choices are meaningful, and you know, it's loadouts actually become a thing, because the choice value is wide, it's deep, you know, you have a lot of choices for what your class can do and what situations that they can perform in, you know, and perform the best in selecting that ability. So I just don't see that they're going to be that impactful, at least not in the beginning. We'll see after mastery though. So but I feel the warrior definitely has a few more abilities that he could pertain and put in the loadout, but the main bulk of the game, the main core spells of your class, you kind of just have those ultimately. Every, you know, player has those spells on their bar that they kind of don't want to deviate from. So if anything, you know, your second, third loadouts aren't going to be that drastically different. Maybe a spell swap here or there, but rather than sitting down and memming it, you know, if they go that route. But right now you just right click and it adds to the bar. So I don't feel like it's really that big of a hindrance without them. So one thing I was going to say though, with the warrior and pretty much every other class too, is you know, the abilities that you do want to swap out are amongst the tank line. So if you're wearing a shield or not wearing a shield, so you know, that's going to divide when you add the masteries into play. So we'll have to see, you know, the abilities that come out to be meaningful or not, because that really separates a whole line of choice, you know. And I see if you're trying to dip into both sides, you know, I'm of the belief that they're going to have to hard lock you into one side just to make it more fun, you know, in my eyes. But nonetheless, if they, you know, go that route where you can balance it, yeah, you're going to have more of the choice to be able to swap back and forth and whatnot. But short cooldown when you do swap, which is standard. I like that, you know. I think that's good. But one thing I wanted to continue with is the UI, and I think there's a lot of changes coming our way with the UI, which is good. You know, sorry about that. Dogs are going nuts. Yeah, so for the UI itself, I want to see a lot of changes that mostly revolve around readability and legibility, kind of decluttering the screen. And I don't think the screen's overly cluttered. I think a lot of the clutter comes from the spell effects and such, and like the actual fight itself and the colors. So you know, that's color palette and how you design the world and stuff in art. So and creating your visual hierarchy. But more so in terms of what I would like is definitely the buffs to be able to be bigger, to, you know, understand the actual icons a lot better. Tooltips and the abilities to be better, which, you know, they talked about, which is good. That needs to happen, because I almost want to see, not necessarily the formulas, but like kind of what scales off of what, you know, and kind of to understand where you're getting the most benefit from, you know, or just fundamentally understanding it on a deep level, you know, or just a full level, the whole aspects, rather than it just being a portion of it just to include it, you know. I feel like the game doesn't really give you enough information in that regard, you know. But yeah, so definitely the group windows and such, I think that they're good. I want to see, you know, I don't like the multiple different targets with offensive and defensive target. I like that idea, you know, don't get me wrong, I like that, but you have that, your defensive target, your offensive target, your nameplate, your group windows, your combat windows and social windows, you got buff windows, you got, you know, the actual target of the window, their hood above their character and such. So there's a lot of the same information on the screen where I don't think it necessarily has to be, you know. I would like to just be like, I target the mob, I see the mob's nameplate, you know. Maybe, you know, they can work out a way where, you know, your defensive target is under your nameplate or something, under your, you know, actual like health and mana or resource, whatever it is. And then the group window is independent to where, you know, you can shrink, you know, change it, hide it, drop the opacity down, you know, drop the opacity down with a lot of them. And I'm pretty sure you can do most of this stuff. I haven't really gotten into the game yet and checked out fully on all the exact details you can do, but yeah, I think that would be pretty good. Just decluttering it and making it more streamlined, you know. I would like some updates around the actual windows of like, you know, inventory and the different windows. Spellbook, Joppa mentioned, is going to get a, you know, new pass on it, so it goes back to the actual book, which I like. You know, that's really cool. So a lot of cool changes coming up. One other thing I do want to touch on lastly, before I let you go, is the limited action set, in the sense of, right now it's broken into multiple different categories, kind of, in a way. You have like your main abilities at the bottom, then you have combat abilities and utility abilities, and like buffs live on the utilities abilities bar. And, you know, Diablo was talking about this, and I just feel, and I kind of agree with him, I just feel that they should just remove necessarily all the different categories, and just give you two, basically 24 slots, and to where you can kind of put whatever on it, you know. And I would also like to see like items being able to put on it, you know, abilities from certain weapons, procs and such. You make a little spell icon for to put on it. Different things like that I feel like would be really, really cool. You know, you have your potions, you can put food on it. You know, food buffs maybe are more instant, and or drinks are more instant and they last and they kind of give you like a powerful little, you know, short duration, about 15, 20, 30 seconds. You know, just stuff that makes it more impactful to live on the bar, you know, other than just having, you know, how it is. And because a lot of the times it's, a lot of the abilities I don't even use, and it's a limited action set. You know, I don't even necessarily get through. I use it maybe 4, 5, 6 abilities in total, you know, some in alternate spots, and that's even with the main ability bar too. So I would really like to see that kind of change and such. So I just feel like, yeah, we don't have enough. I don't feel like the spells are used enough throughout 24 slots to break them up. You know, like allow other stuff to go on there. I would like, you know, to be able to put you know, different, I was going to say mounts, but mounts you just hit H, so not necessarily mounts. But yeah, just different stuff. And they could really expand on this, you know, they could really run with this idea, but I think ultimately that'd be the best. So anyway, thanks for coming. Thanks for listening. I appreciate you guys watching. I did want to say that I'm going to be doing a playthrough on the Summoner, so waiting for the update to come out. And then we're going to be doing that. Which would be cool. I'll be able to get in game and do more long form content to talk about. But yeah, I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys are enjoying the content and such. You actually get to see me in game. I was gonna say we do have a guild. Right now we're kind of dormant because we're just kind of waiting on spring and stuff. But we're usually the graveyard shift, nighttime hours, East Coast. I live in Australia, so we do you know, Australian nights. 9 p.m. such, Sydney side, east side of Australia. So if you're out around those time zones, that'd be cool. Hit me up. I'd love to get you in the guild. But yeah, appreciate you guys. Can't wait to talk to you in the next one. Thanks.